Hey you, so on this video, what's hot and what's not, I'm going to be going over a range of coins that I've been asked about from individuals and even situations, i.e. the Rwandan plastic gate situation. I've had a few words back from certain individuals, nothing back from the main dealers, so I'm just going to be going over the situations and my thoughts on whether I think it's hot or the situation is hot or it's definitely not, while showing these 2-ounce Kookaburra coins in the background. So jumping straight into this, the first thing I'll touch upon is the current Perth Mint bird influx. So we've had a range of coins varying in mintage, 25k to 50k. I've touched upon my views and thoughts upon them in previous videos, but I'll go through them and just mention whether I'll be locking in or not. Now, the first, to the best of my knowledge, was the Emu. Now, I want to get this clear. When I'm saying it's a no-go for me, or definitely not a hot, I'm meaning that once upon a time, as I've showed in previous videos, I was able to pick up a number of coins, i.e. the swans for instance, and go on and flip them onto a dealer and show guys the flip proceeds from that. Why I'm not personally getting involved in these, because I don't think I'll be able to do the same move. I've mentioned in the past, whenever I do a trade or even sales, I like doing them with the dealers. After fees and shipping and hassle, I find them a lot easier, and sometimes you can get more out of the dealer, especially when you're keeping it in-house. That was my own personal preference. Now, with that in mind, if I'm saying it's not hot, I'm not saying the actual coin is bad, and I'll go over each one. When I'm saying the Emu's a no-go for me, it means I'm not going to be picking it up in volume. Now, for an individual who likes the coin and wants to get it in their collection, or just wants to collect one of each or a couple of each, by all means, I would definitely say all the coins I'm going to mention are a go. So when I'm saying not hot, it's just not referring to me and the situation on how I like to play when I'm picking up collector coins. I don't intend to hold them for the long term, especially in silver. So with the Emus, I would say it's not the best of the designs. I mean, I've always said it can be hard to get an Emu in good light. While I'm showing these ones off, see if I can get these open. A bit more fun, not too tough. But for me, the price it came out at was not attractive for me. It was a no for me. So, you know, the design was decent. I think they're gonna have a bit more fun picking a better design as time goes on. But I believe, what was the mintage on those? I'm just gonna tell off the top of my head, so I think it was a 25k, but I think what everybody else was mumbling. So it's decent, but I won't be picking any up whatsoever. I've had an offer from a dealer on a certain price, and it's still, I just didn't see it working out for the best for me. If I was going to get it out of any of the birds I'm about to mention, it would have been the swans, because I think out of the current range, we've got the swans, the emus, and the birds of prey, was it birds of paradise, that Perth have just recently released. As I'm doing this video, the release of this video, I still think the swans offer the best bang for your buck in terms of flippability, but we're going to see how it plays out. So the emus I've passed on, but I do think they're great coins for an individual just want to pick up one to a few. Even if you want to flip, it's just not something that I personally won't be doing. Now on the swans, the 2018 swans just released, I also, as I've just mentioned, think that they're the best player. I think the swans could technically, I've done a video a long time comparing the swans to the Kookaburra coins, and at the time I was saying I think the swans could take it. I think as things move on, I still think the swans are going to take that position out from these bad boys, but I always will say the 2-ounce Kookaburra coins seem to be the best play now currently, because they're not available, so if you're able to find them and backtrack and pick them up, definitely go ahead with that play. But the swans, I'm passing on once again, and I'll give my reason for the roundup for all three of them once I've done going in, subcategorizing. But the swans, for me, out of all the recent current birds, definitely the best of the current releases of all three. If we're talking about the emus or the birds of paradise, the swans are the best play, but I ended up not going for them. I couldn't get them or secure them at a decent price. Dealers knew what they had on their hands and they just wasn't playing ball. It was you could either find it through a little under, or I mean, I can't pick those up for the same price I picked them up for last year, and there's no reason why that should be the case. So once again, I'm out. No skin off my back. My game plan's always been flipping high premium to get low premium, so I'm not really into collecting the 1 or 2 for my own personal collection, so I'm fine with that. For individuals doing that, once again, I think they're a great play, especially with the emus. I think they're a great play. if you're going long and you want to do a flip, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. So with the Birds of Prey, the current release, they've surprisingly brought out the gold and silver at the same time. Once again, the design I think looks pretty decent. You know, it can grow on a lot of individuals. I think it's one of those designs that once you've got it in hand could end up looking really good depending on your taste. But for me, good coin. They've recently done a 50k mintage. Now my mate down in Australia has sent me a few messages regarding Perth Mint's current play of action, and that is just throttling customers. So I think the Perth Mint has brought out a brand new model that's in play that we're just catching up on, and that's basically the lower mintages and, you know, giving the big boys first dibs. So APMEX seems to be getting first dibs on a lot of these. LPM has had their first dibs, and I know some of the German dealers. Well, the biggest German dealer I would say is Argentum. I've done a video on them before, but I'm not mistaken. They're one of the, if not the, one of the biggest. So I know they're getting first dibs as well. But for the first, once again, I understand Perth Mint have throttled the Australian customers to 25 coins per customer, I think for 48 hours. And I've clearly noted that if after 48 hours they're sold out, well then that's your whackjack. So that's just a real silly play. Now, to round all of them off, and my view on it is the way I'm looking at it, once again, no skin off my back, but if you've got a company like APMEX getting first dibs, I'm more than likely not going to be involved in a coin. So you can just look at it from that. Now, if you look at that, APMEX damn near get 90% of the coins first dibs because of who they are and where they are. I think they're both cleverly, from the mints to the largest dealer, taken a lot of things on board. I mean, in the end of the day, we're just mouthpieces for them, working for free. And once you end up shafting individuals like that, there is no good way to do it. I mean, they get the coin. You could easily see what they're going to say. If it's an in-demand product, of course, they're going to increase the price. You know, nothing's changed. I think if anything, metals have gone down since then. But, you know, they're going to increase the price. Now, as I've said before, they're selling. So it's not like they're not selling, they are selling. I understand some individuals have even gone on to do pretty decent flips on the Swans as of recent, even in small numbers. So that being said, if they're getting first dibs, I'm more than likely just going to look on the sidelines, as I have for the emus, the swans, and these current birds of paradise. I'm not interested in just the one, and just give it a pass, because what they're doing is they're going to, as we all know, go through the whole grading process or cherry pick them. That alone is bad in itself, but then they're also fully rinsing all the techniques available, so you'll get the coin in the BU, the proof, and the gold variant. So it leaves nothing left over. Forget no profits or, you know, a little headroom for you to go on and make a little decent flip. They're now utilizing everything within their arsenal to really capitalize and bring the coins out in every option available, from a 60 to a 70 grade and the likes of. So looking at that, when you're competing against APMEX, and I've told individuals this before, if you're going to reprice it, just know you're competing against APMEX. But I've had situations where I've gone on to sell a coin for a profit, and APMEX had the exact same graded coin for a little cheaper, which was a surprise. I mean, my coin was up for a lot longer, and then they came along as of recent, put the coin up graded, which I don't know how they was able to get that grade, and it was a first strike as well, but mine still went on to sell for a profit. Those are very rare occasions on stuff like eBay, but you know, when you're competing against them, you're fighting an uphill battle. So it's not something I'm going to be interested in once these guys, and I know that's down near 90% of the coins coming out. Now, it's easy to think that the coin you're interested in could come down cheaper at a later date, but when we're talking the Perth Mint coins, it's highly unlikely. These are coins they'd gladly sit on with no traction for a long time, because they know over time they can increase it little by little. These ain't your average Royal Canadian Mint or Niue coins that you can be guaranteed to find at a later date, you know, 50% discounted or something. But everything must come down, but it will take a real drastic move to have Perth Mint, the best of the worst coins, get drastically marked down, unless you're willing to wait years. So that's just that on how that plays out. Now, with the few other coins I've been talking about, let's go into the Queen's Beast coins. Now, the individual's asking me what my thoughts on the 1 ounce proof Queen's Beast coins. Personally, once again, if you're collecting them just for the sake of collecting them to get your own personal collection up, I think they're a great play. I've never personally been interested in the 1 ounce silver proof coins from the Queen's Beast. I mean, if you look at how the 2 ounce BU coins are doing, they're doing fantastic currently, especially with Atmex, as someone alerted me. I believe they're selling the Griffin for well over $100 now. From my understanding, they can't get no more Griffins or Lions, and that's the reason why they're selling them at that price. And they've been selling well. Apparently the numbers have gone down. They're selling the Griffin for more than they're actually selling the Lion for, which is interesting. Now the Lion's down there touching upon $100. So that is a very interesting thing to take note upon. So with that in mind, I always go back to that and say, with the BU, I think always if the BU goes on to be a hit, you're always going to see better upside potential with those coins there, because of course you bought them for a lot cheaper. Whereas with the proof, it needs to be sold on to another collector that's absolutely in love with them, and they seem to linger around a bit. But from what I do understand, they can be resold for somewhat of a profit. You know, they're more expensive than the Perth Mint coins, but individuals know coming in that they're going to have to pay more than the Perth Mint coins, for instance. So it's just one of those things, but I've never really been into those. Now, a funny thing is the Royal Mint have been running me down for the past, I'd say, week and a half now, 2 weeks, regarding the which one is it now? The 1/4 ounce gold Clarence Bull. Now I've turned that down because the Dragon was the last one. You know, when you're sending a coin back and it's coming back scuffed. Now I think Royal Mint are the worst for this. They even take the crown from Royal Canadian Mint, because with Royal Canadian Mint, as we all know, RCM with bullion, it's, you're damn near, you know, you're walking the plank. It's a dangerous ride. But they have a good reputation when it comes to their collector coins, from what I understand. I don't own any, but dealers and individual alike have said, look, their collector coins are nothing like their bullion coins. They do pay that added attention to them. Now, with the Royal Mint, you get the packaging with the collector coins, but their collector coins, if you ask me, the quality on them has been dipping greatly. Now, I've seen some shocking examples from individuals on their collector coins, and there's just no excuse. So once you're holding the title of worst quality control when it comes to collector coins, yeah, I'm definitely dipping out. So that was a situation with the Clarence of Bull, but I found it interesting that on the website it was saying sold out, you know, 100% reserved, but if you'd give them a call, you could easily get that coin. So it's a situation where, once again, I think they're playing to the crowd, and you know, having individuals say, oh, they sold out within 24 hours. It's ploys. It's the little silly tactics that I see a lot of these mints and, you know, dealers doing. Now you see me, now you don't. And when I pop back up, I'm triple the price. You know, it's very shady tactics, but this is what they're having to resort to. So it's very interesting there. So with those, I think the bullion coins are always going to be the best bet. If you can find some of the 2 ounces decent on some of the European dealers, definitely go ahead and try that play there. Now with the Rwandan coins, the plastic gate, I've heard back from a dealer. A lot of dealers, they're not going to really understand and know the situation. If you ask them a question to them, it comes in that capsule and that's that. But one dealer has told me that the plastic has been an issue for somewhat of a time now. Now, it's been the only dealer I've heard that from. You know, individuals wanted to find out whether it was plastic or PVC within there. As we know, that can go on to really destroy or corrode the silver and cause the milking or the tarnishing. Now, one dealer's got back and said it is somewhat of an issue. Now, once again, if you can see that stuff on your coins, go ahead and take them out of the plastic. I've told individuals that when individuals purchase a coin of you, they want it in the original packaging. But if you're reselling it and you can bring it to an individual's attention that leaving it in the original packaging could cause to it displaying milk spots and the likes of, if you're putting your money in that, you may want to take that extra step. So looking like taking them out of the plastic and putting them in the capsules could be your best bet. Now, I didn't personally collect the BU coins in quantity, so it's not something I've been paying close attention to. But rule of thumb, a lot of dealers, especially when you're talking about a BU coin, regardless of whether you're paying high or low premiums, are going to really drag their feet and refund you when you're dealing with milk spots, especially a lot of the European dealers. I know in America, some dealers have no problems with that. You know, they'll pick one in. The Royal Mint have no problem taking a coin back off of you and sending it straight back out to the next man. Now, from what I know, it would only take them sending that same coin out to somebody else. So it's a one-time transaction for them. and the next person's more than happy sitting on the coin that you sent back. A lot of people, from my understanding, don't even open some of their boxes as they're leaving them as heirlooms or the likes of, which I find insane. If you get a coin from any of these mints, especially in times like this now, you most definitely want to open the packaging and check it all out. So that's neither here nor there. So for anybody interested, I think that's going to be your best play currently, taking those out and putting them in capsules if you want to hold them for the long term. But I would say that's definitely not hot. So we're talking about hot and not. The emus, hot if you want to purchase for yourself. You know, if you're purchasing in bulk like myself and you see a great flip, you're just going to have to see how it goes. I can't see that happening on any of the current coins that's going on with them. The swans, I think they are hot for a personal, and could be very hot for a personal, a flip. One thing that was on my mind is where the privies. You know, we've had the emus, you've had the swans, and the birds of paradise. Now with these reduced numbers, the privies may just end up being a thing of the lunar coins that we've seen and these kookaburras that are still ongoing with the 300 and 500k mintage. I highly doubt that. And you know, I could be speaking way too soon and a privy could pop up tomorrow, but currently we seem to be privy free, which is interesting, you know, because the mintages are very small on them. So they may have paid attention there, which would be a small thing if you ask me, you know, like let's give them a privyless release, then milk them in every other variation. It wouldn't surprise me if we get a fractional gold coming in at some point, but we seem to be privy free so far. So good. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because it's not diluting the 25k or whatever mintage. But it's going to be interesting. It will be fantastic to know what you guys think of the current releases. What's your game plan? If APMEX have first dibs, are you still playing their game? You're fighting a losing battle when you're going against them, especially when they're going to do what they do, from cherry picking to pushing out every type of variation. Grading was something I got involved with very late in the game, but I definitely saw the potential in it. And as I always mentioned, I was doing it so that I could fully maximize and capitalize as a secondary seller. Once you're going against a mint and, you know, a dealer that does that by default, it just cuts down any type of profits that you can make in the long run. You know, so it is what it is. It is what it is. APMEX ain't stopping anytime soon. So, you know, you guys take it from there. So that's my current what's hot and what's not, on addressing a few issues that individuals have asked me about. So hopefully we can leave that one or that. But it'd be fantastic to hear what you guys currently think in the comments. Don't forget to come and follow me on the links that I've left in the description. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll catch you guys on the rebound.